has developed a proficiency in state government funding and appropriations. Ms. Jackson has excellent working relationships with several of the state leading elected officials and policymakers. Ms. Jackson was elected to Baker's Management Committee in 2010. Thank you for being here. Next we have in the center there, someone that I'm sure you guys don't know, Florida State Representative Bobby DeVos. And he is a Democratic politician who currently serves as a member of the Florida House of Representatives, represented in 94th District, which includes most of Fort Lauderdale and central Broward County since 2014. He attended the University of Florida, we're not going to hold that against him, where he received his Bachelor's of Arts. And he's currently the Democratic ranking member of the Health Quality Subcommittee. And we talked about health disparities earlier today. So he's a good person that can talk to us about some of that stuff. Next, we have Florida State Senator Oscar Grant. He is also a Democratic politician, and he currently serves as our minority leader in the Florida State Senate. He has served in the Florida Senate since 2011. He currently represents the 35th District, which includes Miami Gardens, Miramar, and surrounding areas in southern Broward and northern Miami-Dade County. He previously served as a member of the Florida House of Representatives, representing the 103rd District from 2008 to 2011. And he previously served as City Council for the City of Miami Gardens from 2003 to 2008, and Vice Mayor from 2005 to 2007. So he has had several levels in public service. So he's another excellent person to be here to talk to us about those things that we have at risk right now under number 45. And last and definitely not least, somebody that I know none of you know and have never heard of.
Oh my gosh.
Never seen him before in your whole life. It's Congressman Alcee Hastings. You have to say the best for last. And I know you all, but to me. And since I got the mic, it's about me. Congressman Hastings represents his native state of Florida by serving as congressman for District 20, which includes parts of Broward and Palm Beach counties. Was first elected in 1992 and is serving his 13th term in Congress. Born in Altamont Springs, he attended Florida's public schools and graduated from Fisk University in 1958. He earned his law degree from Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. Known to many as Judge Alcee Hastings, as Judge, Alcee Hastings has distinguished himself as an attorney, civil rights activist, judge, and now member of Congress. Appointed by President Jimmy Carter in 1979, he became the first African-American federal judge in the state of Florida and served in that position for 10 years. Currently, he serves as a senior Democratic whip. Please forgive me, guys. I'm doing everything from my computer because I left it in my car. So there's always something going on. Satan is always busy, y'all. I got on the Alligator Alley this morning, and my tire light came on. But see, that's okay, because it's at Firestone right now. We're going to make sure it's all right before I leave. All right, so what we've done is we came up with some group discussion questions, and then we have some questions that are going to be specific to each panelist based on their position. We have 3 of our elected officials that are currently serving as elected officials. We have Attorney Cash, who also does some lobbyists and community activists, and we have a pastor. All of people that actually influence everything that we do in our lives every day. People always say, well, you shouldn't discuss politics, you shouldn't discuss religion, and I'm not political. Well, all I have to say is that you can sit around all day long and say you're not political, but everything that goes on in your world is political. Right. The air you breathe is regulated. The water you drink, unless you live in Flint, is regulated. The car you drive is regulated. The house you live in is regulated. You got to pay property taxes. It's always something. So if you don't understand that by now, I hope by the end of the day you do know that. And you understand who you can go to and what you can do as an individual. So the first question, let's start with a group question. Let's talk about the economy. President 45. Let's go ahead and be real about this. President Trump, because he is our president, just like President Obama was our president, we wanted people to not disrespect him. So just because we don't like what Trump does, we have to acknowledge that he is the president of the United States. Unfortunately. President Trump continues to take credit for the drop in unemployment for African Americans. However, do we truly feel that African Americans have access to decent jobs and job training? So anyone want to volunteer?
I'll address the drop in the unemployment rate. Our economy has been steadily going up since the previous administration. The job rates have steadily gone at a continuous rate since the previous administration. So all these trends were happening before the 45th president of the United States became president. The real thing that I think you measure is the gap between African American unemployment and the majority unemployment. And that gap has not shrunk. As one goes up, the other stays the same. We stay the same. If you want to talk about accomplishing something for our community, that's what you attack, is that gap. It can't be you get better and I stay, and I only get increasingly better as you get better. The gap is what they call that is a disparity. We talked about it with healthcare, right? If that disparity never gets any better, then you have done nothing for us. It's almost like when people say if you get a cold, if America gets a cold, the black community has pneumonia.
Correct.
Well, if America gets better, we only get slightly better. The real thing is getting us to be the same. So I don't know that we need to brag about anything, and especially not as it relates to the 45th president's administration doing anything to make that any better. We were already on that trajectory because there was an administration there beforehand that turned us around, and we were almost in almost a depression, what we call a recession. That administration put in things that would get us to where we are today. What we're trying to do now is, and I forgot to pass the mic to the congressman because this is really something that's happening on a federal level, is we're trying to attack that gap.
So y'all understand why he is our minority leader in the state senate?
Thank you so very much, and Oscar, I agree with everything that you said. The question specifically, let me piggyback on what Oscar talked about the continuous growth in the economy. We're entering month 95 of continuous, steady growth. The disparity that he spoke about, and if we can enlarge the concept of what's happening with African Americans, Latino Americans, and poor white Americans, then the harsh reality is that low unemployment set of circumstances, and I might add, note specifically that you've not seen any analysis about what the jobs are, okay? These are not $75,000 a year jobs that they're talking about. These are not $15 an hour wage jobs that they're talking about. And the candidate that just lost to Andrew Gillum, Gwen Graham, had the statement